episode 25, Dads on Books, book edition, starting with yours truly, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, the Lady Killer, Ray Larkin, but hey, you already know that, and TW himself, Jeff Meacham, starts right now.
I'm glad I'm starting this one because yours truly would refer to you, Mr. Announcer Boy, and I'm Mr. TW, not TW. Oh, of course I can run the call. Oop.
Oh my God, you got a text message.
I got a tool. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Today's show, Dads on Wrestling, is the Dads on Books because everybody and their mother seems to have written a book here over the last better part of 10 years.
Well, and the WWE for the last, I think, 6 years or so has made a big thing around WrestleMania time about the reading challenge and everything.
Yes, this is true.
Trying to get their kid fans out there to read. So, all you C Nation fans, these are the books you need to go to your local library and check out.
So, the book that every Hulkamaniac should read, and I know JJ's going to give me crap. Ray will probably give me crap too. And
I like Hogan.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Hogan's first book, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, was okay, but you gotta remember that was a WWE produced book.
This is true.
And a lot of it was WWE spin and Hogan spin. This one seriously starts out in his bathroom with a gun to his head after the accident, after the divorce, everything.
Yeah.
This book right here, if you're a Hulkamaniac and you say you're a true blue Hulkamaniac, brother, go buy this book. It's probably in the dollar bin now at frickin' Borders, if there's any Borders left out there, or Barnes & Noble, but you know what? It's a damn good read, and it's worth the buck.
Absolutely.
All right.
Following up Hogan is good buddy.
His buddy, Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff. 6 Degree Black Belt.
I have been told by a few promoters in here in Southern California, this is their Bible.
Seriously, like, whenever, back in the days when I was running the old LBWA, whenever I needed ideas, I would either go watch this, or I'd watch the Monday Night, read this, or watch the Monday Night War.
Seriously.
Because seriously, that gave me some epic ideas. Eric Bischoff does not get the credit that he deserves. Yeah, that's the Bischoff I like.
There we go. There we go.
This guy right here does not get the credit he deserves because let's be honest, if you were put in charge of a struggling television company, a struggling product, with an unlimited bankroll at your disposal and told, hey, what do we need to do to put this on top? You'd have done what he did. And a lot of people want to try and say, oh, he stole Diesel from WWE. He stole Razor Ramon.
Eric Bischoff.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they Oz and the Marlboro Man in WCW at some point? Before they became big?
Exactly.
Just saying.
Before Bischoff was running WCW.
Didn't Vince McMahon get stunning Steve Austin and turn him into Stone Cold? Was it Mean Mark Calloway, a WCW guy, before he became The Undertaker?
Exactly.
Vince wants to put his own little spin on it, but let's be real. There was a lot of stealing going on both
sides.
ends.
Exactly.
But Eric Bischoff during the mid to late 90s was the ultimate thief. Ultimate thief.
Speaking of stealing, lie, cheat, and steal, baby. Cheating death, stealing life, the Eddie Guerrero Story.
Now, did you get that book?
Before he died.
Before he died. So there's no little insert here from Vince?
No.
That was actually
it's right there. It's right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there. It is.
Yeah, that was actually very emotional for you guys. If you even pick up the book just to look at it, if you're in a bookstore, that little opening from Vince is awesome.
Another book that's emotional now, considering what happened this year.
Speaking of awesome.
Speaking of awesome, we'll let Ray hold that one.
The original reeking of awesomeness.
Adam Copeland on Edge. And the best little scenario they did for this book on television is when Kurt Angle insulted Edge. Remember at Survivor Series, he said, "Oh, you know my favorite chapter is the part where you were WWE champion." Oh, that's right, you never were. Well, now that Edge is an 11-time heavyweight champion.
Kiss our ass, Kurt. That's right.
While we're talking about Edge,
I was gonna say on the
live sex celebration, his former partner and running mate. Lita.
Before she became Live Sex Celebration.
Really awesome book telling her backstory, time in Mexico.
Almost got it signed this year. Almost.
Oh, yeah, almost.
Almost went out and got it signed. On the Edge book, really quick though, I like the fact that's the first since Mick Foley's. I think the only since Mick Foley's. No Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Straight up.
You know what? You want to know what's really feel about this book though? While we're still talking about Lita.
Yes.
I actually had this in my backpack at a Raw, where I met her. And forgot
all
I had
those
it
pictures
on.
were taken?
Yeah.
Fail, dude.
And I forgot that I had it with me to get her to sign it because I was so caught up in the fact that, oh my God, there's Lita!
Yep.
I didn't get it signed. It's one of my few books that are not signed.
Well, I'm sure your
The Bible you hold in your hand is actually signed.
To Jerry?
Yep, to my pop.
Oh, okay,
his
that's
book.
cool. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
My dad bought the Piper book.
This is another one, even though it's written with somebody else, another freaking testimonial to the old school right here, man. In the Pit with
Again,
Piper.
C-Nation fans,
Yeah.
get out there and do your homework.
Another homework book that I personally own is the WWE Encyclopedia.
Don't have that here,
Which
but
it is the
this
Bible. It is
big.
the Old and New Testament versions of WWE.
It's about this big, about
Pretty
this
much.
thick.
No matter what
yeah.
age you are, you buy that, check it out, you learn the history of WWE.
Yep.
Really quickly, a couple more that I want to run through. The Hardy Boys. This book, you know, say what you will about the Hardy Boys, this book reads more like an interview than an actual
Yeah.
autobiography,
Yeah, which why I didn't buy it.
makes it a quick read for people that don't like to sit and thumb through, you know, 732 pages of Mick Foley talking about Japan and thumbtacks and losing an ear.
A lot of these
But this book is actually really, really informative for all you Hardy fans.
Back then, this book's like 10
Yeah.
years old now. So,
Yeah,
you know.
seriously. Again, signed. Let's go ahead and bust that out. It should be right for the next page. Bam.
Oh.
Matt and Jeff, the sensei of Matitude.
Nice. You know, a lot of
Not the
best-
sensei of Fatitude.
You know, the...
You know, and if you check really closely, there might be remnants from cocaine on the pages from Jeff's not rap.
I'm noticing
I thought I was
blank...
getting high when I opened that page.
I'm noticing blank pages in the book. Perhaps this is just Jeff's imagination. Perhaps we fill in the blanks at this point.
And again, you want to go to
Straight edge.
history. You want to go to history like we were talking about the Piper and the Hogans. Pure Dynamite.
Depressing.
Walking the Golden Mile.
I also
Signed
know-
by William Regal.
Signed by
Yes,
William Regal.
William Regal marked out to the fact that I owned this people
Yes.
because he didn't think that many people in the States actually gave a shit about him.
Yes.
I plopped it down at his table at SummerSlam 09, and he was like, "You actually bought this?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, you're fucking awesome." And he was like, "You're wearing a Hurricane t-shirt. You actually like that guy?" I was like, "It's not like they're selling your shirts on Shop Zone." And he was like, "Okay, let me just sign this because you make a very valid point."
They weren't selling this shirt right here, Born Naughty, but they should have.
And again, Pure Dynamite, like Jeff said, very depressing, very bitter words from the Dynamite Kid. But any person getting into it needs to get caught up on their history. And Dynamite has got some interesting stories to tell, especially about your Hulkster and the Warrior.
Yeah. They're not here in front of us. They're right here behind the many displays that JJ has in this hallway. But
Yeah.
Bobby's books, Bobby Heenan's books, both of them.
Yes.
Not just the bio, the first one, but the advice, basically the self-help one, the second one. They're both the shit, and I loved them both, and Bobby was awesome to sign it for me. So.
Did you ever hear the backstory about this book? At an enterprise meeting?
Yes.
You have heard the story, but are you two fans?
That shouldn't be for public consumption. I'm sorry.
Actually, it's funny because the whole story in of itself is just humorous.
I
Because
know, but
I'll let Ray tell the majority of it, but just to set up the scenario, it's August 23rd, 2004.
Let me walk
the
off.
day after my birthday.
Oh,
And we
God.
damn near had to strong arm Chris Hardy. Shout out real quick. Expo, give it to you.
Dude!
Shout out Chris Hardy. We had to basically strong arm him to take us to this autograph signing because he didn't give a shit about Ric Flair. Like, he took a picture of me trying to meet Ric Flair, and he got a picture of the back of my Randy Orton shirt and Ric Flair's blonde hair.
Chris, I would walk off. Somebody else already walked off on that one. I'm just throwing that out. You
We
fucking
basically
idiot.
told Chris, we were like, look, we can either go to this Walmart and meet Ric Flair, or we can hang out outside the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, quack, 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 and try to meet wrestlers. And we decided to go to the Walmart signing because
Good
of
choice.
the Lady Killer. Come on back in, Lady Killer, and you can pick the story up from here.
So Stat Boy, big shout out to Stat Boy. Goes right into the front of the line. I'm like, he has a pen and paper, right? I believe. I go, what the hell are you doing? Because Flair's only signing the book at this point. And he says, I'm gonna ask Ric Flair, 4 out of those 16 title runs, what venue he won those titles at, and what he was wearing at the time where he won that. Ric Flair comes in all coked out of his mind, pretty much all drunk, all wasted, and he's not talking to anybody, he's just signing, thanks, thanks a lot. Woo! And he starts doing his little shit. So Mike goes up to him, Stab Boy, shout out. He goes, hi, Rick. And he holds the book away from Ric Flair. And Ric Flair's mad because he just needs to get out of there and go drink. And he's like, I want to know, in 1992 or 86, when you won this championship, what were you wearing and what event was it at? Ric Flair just like slaps his hands like, man, I don't know. And I ain't a sign or walk. Alright? Now get on. Woo! And everyone didn't even know he was cussing him out. Everyone just behind him was, woo! Every dumb mark was, woo! Someone getting his ass told off. And there's two things you can do about it. Nothing. I like it. Woo! So that was the start of Stat Boy and Rick, the Nature Boy.
Fast forward 2 years, and now Stat Boy works at Disneyland, home of Space Mountain, where maybe the oldest ride in the park, but it's always got the longest line.
45 minutes, at least.
Yeah.
But except the last time we were there.
But with the cripple, you don't have to worry about that.
But seriously, for those of you that don't know about Stat Boy, the reason he got the nickname in the first place is because he's been working on basically his own WWE encyclopedia for years.
Yes.
And then WWE just beat him to it, but he's still doing it. That's why he asked Flair those questions. But
for the longest time, I considered Mick Foley my favorite wrestling-related author about his books. Then I read these, and I've changed my mind. Chris Jericho, and not only are his books awesome, he's awesome. And I'm sorry to Miz and Edge and whoever else uses the fucking phrase awesome or whatever, but you know what? Jericho's books are the I know you're not a huge Jericho guy, but you came to the side. I know.
Heart of a champ.
I know. But Jericho proved that he could be an author and get 100 million people into that little bitty board before they went out of business and still be humble about it. He was so cool about it.
You know what? It's funny that we brought these up because for weeks after meeting Jericho, I would tease people on Renegade of Wrestling talking about stuff is fruit.
Never did.
And I never gave up what fruit
It
was.
is time, JJ.
It is time because we have the book right here, Undisputed, where Jericho talks about fruit. Long and the short of it is, and back me up guys, you've both read it, fruit is basically Jericho's new way of saying stuff is cool.
Yes.
He
was trying so hard
his Ed shirt is fruit. My Eddie shirt is fruit. Your King's hat is fruit.
My Sean shirt is free, so it wasn't all that free.
Undisputed is fruit. So now we have finally divulged what fruit is.
Sorry to Chris Jericho if anybody hasn't bought the book yet, but go buy the goddamn book anyway. Seriously.
And for all of you guys out there that are lazy, we just got the 2-minute warning. Not 3-minute warning, Rosie and Jamal, but the 2-minute warning.
Did I just hear you say?
For all you lazy bastards out there, look onto eBay for the books on CD.
Seriously. It's
riding around in your Dodge Charger. When you're not singing
Zack Ryder's song right now.
Oh, radio, tell me everything you know.
By the way, for those of you that watch Talk Wrestling and say you're jumping on the Zack Ryder bandwagon, fuck you, you're damn right I am. Anyway,
we're all in it.
But for all you guys that are lazy, look into Amazon, look into eBay, get the books on CD because most of them are actually read by the superstars themselves.
Including Leadus, yeah.
And then you can hear Stone Cold Steve Austin talking about why he whooped on so-and-so back in 1993.
Or Jeff Hardy trying to read his book.
For Dad's on Books, episode 25. I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and goddammit, I'm out of here.
I'm the Lady Killer Ray Larkin. But you already know that.
And I'm Jeff Meacham, and I like my hat too much to throw it down, so we'll see you next time.
I already threw mine down.